For reservations, call now on 042 203 1400 or visit quantu.co.za. Quantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
The Voice of the Cape, 91.3 FM stereo.
The Daily Grind.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. We are entering into the final hour. And yes, indeed, this is the segment wherein we have a local business come onto the show. If you are tuning in on our Facebook and YouTube platforms, I bid you with Assalamu alaikum. See you there. Now, I recommend that everybody heads onto the Facebook and YouTube because our guest today will be unveiling something glorious. I can really smell it. Everybody in the building can smell it. But Rashad was clapping his hands, getting excited. Uncle Nasser downstairs was getting absolutely delighted when he saw it. And that is none other than Urban Flava. And we have the owner here, the founder, Randy Pillay. He's in the studio. He's on my opposite, on your left, on my opposite, basically. So, to kick it off, Randy.
Yes.
Good evening. How are you doing?
Very well. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for the opportunity, man.
I can tell. Now, Randy, quickly, okay? For all the listeners out there, because there's already an auntie here, the 3366 asking for the contact cell number. We didn't even get into the interview, and auntie already wants it. I love the passion there.
Brilliant story.
Yes. Now, Randy, give us a little bit of insight into your business, Urban Flava, because you guys are not just a pizza joint, correct?
That's correct. So yeah, man, we specialize obviously in pizza. We've got a good grill options as well. We're going to be soon going into the pizzas and the ribs and so on. But at the moment, we are got these beautiful wings. Comes in your barbecue. Got as well your peri-peri flavor. The same with your quarter chickens as well as your kebabs.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so there's a wide range available, not just pizza, of course. Now, Randy, what took me away was the fact that you guys started a year and 2 months ago. I'm mentioning specifically a year and 2 months because in the intro, I kind of mentioned that they started last month. That's a little bit incorrect. They actually started during COVID. So they're one of those COVID businesses that I always get on here. And the question I always have for entrepreneurs that come on and open during the COVID period is, what went through your head? Because during that period, as we all know, people lost their jobs, people's businesses closed, but you started your own enterprise. And I wanted to know from you, where did all of this idea for a pizza joint / barbecue grill franchise start off from?
Yeah, but before we get to that part, just our favorite places I felt were losing their quality. So I've always wanted to do this, always wanted to have a fast food / maybe restaurant. And lo and behold, when I do the books for one of the customers that were my clients, and then when they said that, hey, they're thinking about rather closing the doors and stuff, I saw, his opportunity presenting itself, being the good business and the history that they have. So called a buddy of mine and we jumped right in.
Yeah.
So,
wow. Okay. So basically, a franchise closed down, and then you saw the opportunity to open up. Now, what took me away was the fact that you opened up in Wynberg. Now, as everybody knows, everybody from the community, that strip in Wynberg on the main road is quite a competitive area to exist in. You have burger joints, you have fast food joints that sell Gatsby's. Everything is available there, and you started over there, which is kind of intriguing. I mean, it's a little bit bizarre maybe, but you did mention that one of the things that actually inspired you was the prospect of the fact that a lot of pizza joints were actually losing their quality. We all know of the pizza joints that have done so, where you can tell, the quality's dropped after they've expanded. Now, I wanted to actually know more on this, both because why you actually opened up in Wynberg in that strip, which is exceptionally busy, and also, how do you maintain that quality but also affordable pricing?
You hit the nail on the head when you said busy. So that location is busy. If you know the strip quite well, you'll know there's no real pizza joints there.
Yeah.
You see, so that was also a big competitive advantage. In terms of your quality, so we are very strict on that. Like we just mentioned, our favorite stores have lost their quality.
Yeah.
So I've seen guys quick example, lowering the grade of cheese that they use, going to frozen chicken instead of fresh. So what we do is, even if it leads to wastage, it's one of those things. All from our beef, from our chicken, obviously all halal, it's always fresh. We rather buy every day, every second day, instead of buying frozen and saving. And people of Cape Town, you can't fool them, bro. They know the quality when it comes to food. And that's what has actually kept us going and helped us grow. And relationships, you know. Our staff is mainly, I can say 70% of them live in Wynberg. Our cashiers know many customers by name, first name basis, and that's something we strive through. I myself have come to know customers. So I think that's where we keep it. And to be honest, the other competitors around, they buy from us and we buy from them. So we all have relationships.
There's a collaboration there.
A collaboration.
Oh, that's wonderful. Wonderful to hear. Now, in regards to the aspect of quality, I can tell from your voice and the way you're talking about it that there is passion in what you do. You want to provide the best quality product. And as you mentioned, our people can't be fooled. I mean, you can fool us with a lot of things. A lot of things you can fool us with. But good food, no, we have the palate to taste that. So I wanted to know from you, in comparison to competitors, of course, there are many pizza joints out there, both commercial, South Africa, all over, but also local. And I wanted to know from you, what separates you from them? What is the competitive edge that you've found that you can take advantage of?
Yeah. So look, we did something strategic. I kind of went headhunting from our competitors and we got some of the guys to come in and work for us. Big thing, like, let's go back to the quality aspect, man. So it's not cutting the corners. I feel maybe because we kind of knew, so people feel, they can do that. But my staff know that we will never, if it means we need to drive a bit further and delivery is not today, we will do that. You know, the bottom line makes itself. That's what I've seen. The profit comes afterwards. And then obviously, number one is your cleanliness, man, and following the procedure. So even the thing like our wood, we never compromise on the type of wood we use. The pizza oven being cleaned a certain way, it will stick that way. The flour is not a normal flour. Your muti, you can't find it in Pick and Pay and stuff. In your major retailers. So it's that kind of thing. It's sticking to your particular ingredients and not compromising.
Okay. Now, when you started, of course, you mentioned that it's in essence, you weren't really all too familiar with making pizzas. And I remember when you came in and you mentioned, you know, I can actually also make a pizza. I learned how to make it myself, which kind of intrigued me because, you know, a lot of business owners sometimes don't actually know their business in the respect of they own the franchise, they own the operations, but in essence, what the workers are actually doing, they have no clue. They can't replicate it. So when that worker leaves, they oftentimes have a skill issue where they don't know how to replace them. And then, as you mentioned, you actually need people. And as you mentioned, you headhunted or you found people that actually worked at those enterprises before, and you know that they can do the job. And from my perspective, when you came in and you mentioned that was more so the hardships in the beginning, because you're coming from an expertise that is outside of the restaurant industry in respect, and you've now entered into this market. You don't know too much, of course, but I wanted to know from you in that respect, when you just started off, the hardships therein, how did you overcome them and what were they exactly?
Yeah, so people, skills. So we had the main pizza maker. He helped us tremendously. He unfortunately found better employment. We left on good terms. He still pops by now and then. So I have a very good friend. His name is Flava. Shout out to him if he's listening. He's been in the restaurant fast food game basically all his life, and his expertise was tremendous. We spent hours before we even opened the doors. They were obviously doing some renovations. We spent hours in his kitchen, my kitchen, perfecting, working on recipes, trying this, YouTube videos, phoning around. My wife was also very much involved. Big ups to her as well. She's been the backbone. You know, ladies are much better, I think, when it comes to food. And
I don't think anybody's going to complain.
You understand? She's got a great respect for ingredients and how they relate to each other. And that's something I learned. And it's how much salt to sugar to water to dough. And that's what helps. So people were the biggest challenge, and people were the biggest winner or help, if I could say.
Okay, so collaboration. Getting involved with your friends and your family. Because at the end of the day, your biggest critics oftentimes will actually be your friends and family, because they will have the guts to come up to you and tell you, you know what, Randy, This pizza ain't it, man. This
There we
pizza
go.
ain't hitting home. It's not looking good right now,
Right.
eh? But you obviously came through that. You bettered your business. You bettered yourself, of course, by skilling yourself in regards to YouTube. And I think for a lot of people out there, often at times they think that they have to enter a market and they have to know basically everything out the wazoo. They need to know every aspect of the business. However, I've noticed that when entrepreneurs come on board, often at times they just take that leap of faith to actually, figure it out while you're going for it. As they always say, just make that step and then everything else will follow.
Yeah.
But of course, that means you actually have to be knowledgeable. You can't just like jump off a cliff and think,
Yes,
you know
yes.
what? I'm gonna land on my feet. It's not gonna work like that. And you obviously did your research, as you mentioned there, collaborating and so on and so forth. Now, entering into the market, of course, you had to start off. You had to get your name out there, of course. And of course, as you know, food enterprises are built upon their name. It travels the same. If people think your pizza isn't good, they're gonna tell somebody, and that person's gonna tell somebody else, and then there you go, the quality and the name is ruined. But obviously, your marketing, you've now just launched, I believe, your social media platforms, and you have gotten your name out there somewhat. I mean, I found you through a friend that had you on the status, and I was like, wait a minute, a pizza place, and then I saw the apples, and I was like, it can't be. You know what I mean? Like, I've only seen this at one other place before, and I didn't think it would replicate, but obviously you did replicate, but not only replicate, you also tried to do better, as you mentioned, in regards to the quality. Now, with that respect of quality, of trying to understand the business and learning, I wanted to know from you, they say entrepreneurship is a journey, and as you know, journeys sometimes never end, especially in this industry. And I wanted to know from you, from that beginning and where you've come through now, what have you learned? And also, what are the things that you have taken account of now going forward, things that you thought before entering the business and that you've actually learned on the field?
Well, one thing is I've picked up a lot of weight from all the things. So
No, it's good. No. Now we know we can trust you. Now we know we can trust you.
Look, we give people food only that we would eat.
Exactly.
That's non-com. So every single menu item we have to try it,
Yeah.
So free food is a perk, I guess. Learning. So like I said in the beginning, how the ingredients relate to each other, who your quality suppliers are out there. Okay, numbers come to me naturally. So that's why when I entered it, I wasn't too blind. We worked out the numbers, like it's costing, what it would cost. It will obviously never be perfect because there's wastage. There's the human factor. What I have learned though is your customers, to be honest, because that's what you're serving. So those negative that you got in the beginning, they only helped. So I try not to focus. When you get a 5-star review, yes, good, all in well, let's clap hands. When you get that 1-star, that's when the brain starts working. Then we get in contact with you. We need to know what it is. How can we improve to make this a better experience? And with pizza, just Uber released a survey where they found that any chicken-related product is number one. Number two was pizza. So that was a very big motivation, especially with the quality dropping off our competitors, like you said. So what I've learned is customer relations is on top of everything, and sticking to your quality. And as an entrepreneur, you need to have the knowledge. So if you want to be a pizza shop, you have to come the best at pizza, knowledge that there is out there, spending multiple hours and just continuing to learn, and just taking in what the customer says.
Okay. I always love that when business owners come on board and they mention the reality. You know what? Sometimes you don't get it right. It's the nature of anything in life. You're never going to be 100%. You aim for it, but you never. You have to understand you're never going to reach it. And sometimes you're going to get a customer that isn't going to agree with what you're doing. Sometimes it's warranted. Other times they're just being a difficult customer. But you have to take every kind of criticism to take note of to better yourself in the future. Now, in talking about bettering yourself in the future, what took me away from your establishment was the reality that you guys don't only do pizzas. You guys also have a grill house, basically, where you guys, as you mentioned in the beginning, ribs and
the ribs are coming.
The ribs are coming. Yes,
chicken.
You see, so that interests me because first of all, ribs, all of that kind of stuff. Usually, you do see the chicken, but the ribs, and it seems as if though your ambition is leading you towards expanding the business in some respect of the quality, but also what's on the menu. And I wanted to know from you the ideas of improvement, the ideas of what to put on the menu. Where does that all come from? Is it just something you like? You talk to your wife, maybe you talk to your kids. You're like, kids, what do you want to eat today? Or something like that. Because that's usually what I hear.
Personal preference, obviously.
Of course.
Customers. What would you like to see? What would you like to see? And I do a lot of research, like Zomato and these popular food researchers, to see what people are eating.
Yeah.
And those are the things that come up. So your ribs will be next. pastas go in line with what we're doing. Burgers to me are sacred things. So before you get into burgers, you need to make sure you got your ducks in a row with burgers. That will be the last on our menu, to be honest. So I hope that answers your question, though.
It does. Now, that actually took me something there. You mentioned pasta, maybe in the future. In the near future. And of course, burgers, when you guys are a little bit more settled and you actually, as you mentioned, it's a sacred thing. I mean, you ruin one burger, it's all downhill from there. But in respect to expansion, in respect to, of course, what you're providing, I wanted to know from you, because you mentioned everything there. And, you know, as you mentioned also, you also enjoy the food. So I'm quite intrigued now, okay? Listeners are out there. They've just heard of your establishment. One auntie is already asking for the number. I want to know from you, okay? You've tasted the entire menu, of course. What would you recommend or what do you enjoy eating from the menu? I'm curious.
Okay, fine. We've got our flagship pizza, I can call it. It's called the Urban Legend. So the Urban Legend comes in your steak. It comes in your beef option. You can have it hot, you can have it not. So it's loaded. It's a fully loaded pizza. It's full of flavor. Obviously, we experimented. Will the mushrooms work? No, let's not add mushrooms. Add some peppers, add some. So the Urban Legend is definitely a winner. Our peri-peri sauce, it's something different. I haven't really tasted it around because we kind of make a little bit of our own concoction. So I really love our peri sauce on any of the items, on your wings, on your kebabs. I particularly like my kebabs. And our quarter chickens is fairly new. Like I said, with the peri-peri sauce, it is something magic. A customer told me this. He actually took our peri-peri, took our barbecue, mixed it too. He's like, yo, guys, here's a new sauce, try it. And that's how we eat. When the staff eat, that's how we eat it. We're going to implement that soon. Urban Legend is my favorite pizza.
You know what I like about everything you've mentioned there is that you actually like what you're actually producing. That may seem like a weird thing to say but the reality is, like I mentioned in the beginning, a lot of people that own kind of franchises or own businesses don't actually know what is going on in the business, nor have they actually tried the entire menu. And that oftentimes hinders them because then they don't know what is working, what is not working, or if something's not working, they don't know why it's not working. And you just mentioned there how you got feedback from a customer, and the customer basically gave you your own sauce made from your own things, and hey, it's working now. But Randy, there's one question I always ask at this venture because we're going to have to go for some commercial news at 22. I want to know from you, okay, you've been in operation for a year and 2 months. You started in COVID, and usually I ask this question in relation to how long you've been operating. So now you've operated for a year and 2 months. I want to know from you, in your vision for your business, right? Because every entrepreneur is ambitious in some respect. Where do you see your business heading in a year and 2 months from now?
Okay. Well, we have obviously your short-term goals, your medium, and your long. So the short-term is to just get the store, what's the word I'm looking for? 110%. You know, we the quality is the same. Every single pizza that goes out tastes the same, if not better. Then our marketing side of things, is to get our name out there, become popular. We do have, you said a year and 2 months, but I'm actually talking a bit ahead of that.
Go ahead.
So I love to hear it all. Get the establishment more known, more out there. We are on the delivery platforms, your popular ones. We're going to start our own indoor delivery as well.
Oh, wow.
We'll get a little, 2 motorcycles out there. Another thing that inspired us was schools. We had 2 schools come to us and order like 80 pizzas at a time. We're like, okay, so we need to approach the corporates and start attacking them and giving them specials. Birthday parties, a guy came for his kid's birthday. We love your pizza so much. Can we please order so much pizza? So events and birthdays. Then medium to long, we sat down with a business plan. We'd love to have 5 stores. We've earmarked in Western Cape. And then once that is established, the long-term goal would be to franchise. If people want to open up all over the place. With very strict criteria, you're going to follow our recipe, and that's what it is. And our in-house kitchen, and we will supply you.
That's wonderful. What I most took away from there was the fact that kids came out and they said, I want your pizza for our birthday party. I mean, getting the kids on your side is already an accomplishment in and of itself. I mean, adults can be complaining. But kids, they are a whole other problem. As every parent knows, if a child doesn't like something, they're going to tell you that they don't like it, and they're going to be as mean as they possibly can.
Honest.
Of course. With that, we're going to have to go for some commercial news, but Rashad is on the other side. I think he's still licking his lips in excitement. And actually, with that excitement, I do recommend that everybody head on over to our Facebook and YouTube platforms, because we will be showcasing what Randy has brought to the studio. It smells divine, so I'm only assuming that looks are going to match the smell. Usually they do with pizza. I mean, it's kind of hard to fool the nose with the pizza. Eh? And as Randy mentioned there, if people don't like a pizza, they will tell you. And Randy mentioned there, people actually do. Kids like it, surprisingly. Not surprisingly, because more so surprising than the fact that they were so afforded. I mean, 80 pizzas from high school. Wow.
For primary school.
For primary school.
Primary school, yeah.
The primary school in wow.
Yeah.
So we're actually all making a name all across the Cape. With that, we're going to go for some commercial news. Stay tuned to the Daily Grind for more.
We're back and ready to welcome you home. Your 3 favorite Spurs are ready to serve you your favorite meal for sit-down, deliveries, and call and collect orders. Visit any of your 3 favorite Spurs: Topeka Spur, Kenilworth, Golden Feather Spur, Vangate Mall, and California Spur, Westgate Mall, and treat yourself to breakfast, lunch, or supper. Remember, safety first, so we're sanitized and energized.
Spur, people with a taste for life.
Itchy feet? Are your athlete's feet getting out of hand? Do you suffer from ingrown toenails? Is cutting your toenails more of a pain than the toes itself? Calluses, corns, and bunions is not what you asked for. Rescue your feet now at Feet for Life. Feet for Life. We treat all foot-related problems like diabetic feet, foot screening, and basic foot care. Visit Feet for Life at our 3 branches in Constantia, Rondebosch, and Mitchell's Plain. Contact them on 067 988 6045 or go to their website on www.feedforlife.co.za to book your appointment now.
There's instant noodles. And then there's Miggering instant noodles. There's seasoning and spices. And then there's Miggering chili garlic and hot and spicy seasoning and spices. There's heat and flavor. And then there's Miggering heat and flavor that'll leave you wanting more. Miggering instant noodles. For a taste that speaks for itself, find Miggering at a store near you.
Sharia compliant means shared responsibility, collective assurance, and a mutual undertaking. Which is why at Bright, we provide insurance with technical expertise, risk-focused insights, and an oversight system with compliant dimensions. Shared risk, shared expertise, and Sharia compliant. Contact your broker or visit brightinsure.co.za to find out more. Bright, approach risk with purpose. Bright is a licensed insurer and authorized FSP.
In order to restore the Ummah of Islam to its divinely intended leadership role of witness bearing for humanity, every matriculant must, of necessity, undertake a program of Quranic worldview induction before proceeding to the Western higher education system. Transform your thinking in line with the Islamic paradigm of relevance to social context. Enroll in any of the accredited undergraduate programs at the International Peace College, South Africa, the 1-year higher certificate in Islamic Studies or 3-year BA in Islamic Studies. For more information, go to www.ipsa-edu.org. Apply now.
Live from Cape Town, this is the Voice of the Cape, 91.3 FM.
The Daily Grind. Boosting your business savvy.
Welcome back to the Daily Grind. Yes, before the break, I did mention that Randy would be unveiling what he's brought. I told you that the smell is absolutely divine. And now we're going to be taking a look as to what he has actually brought. Now, Randy, I see here a lot of awesome things. It smells divine. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish we could somehow broadcast the smell because it's actually, it's how you expect and how you want pizza to smell. That's basically how I'm going to describe it. But I'm not doing it enough justice because Randy has brought a half and half larger, which I haven't seen in a long time, a half and half, which is absolutely divine. But Randy, I'm speaking a little bit too much. Enlighten the listeners and viewers on our live stream of what you have produced here.
Okay, so let's start with the main items. Obviously, our pizza. As Dayan has mentioned, we do have the half and half option. So on the right side, we've got our tikka chicken. So our tikka chicken, it's made in-house. It's kind of a secret. We've taken months to perfect and get the perfect taste that we want. So it's not just plain chicken with tikka spice over it like most places do. The tikka is actually cooked in a tikka in our pizza oven. It's also topped with some picante peppers as well as some red peppers and some Nutri-style Danish feta. The cheese is obviously the classic full cream mozzarella, topped with a bit of cheddar for that bit of, extra saltiness. The base is obviously in-house. We use it's not your normal flour that you find in a retail store. And then the other side is your masala steak. Can I just explain to listeners? You have to understand.
No, please explain.
Your coriander, obviously, after the time, it starts to look like that and loses its color. But if you had it fresh, you'd see a different side of it. Same with the masala steak. Cooked from scratch. The steak is cooked in our own curry sauce in-house. Fresh, not frozen. It's topped with some green peppers. And it also, I forgot to mention, the tikka's got a secret sauce that we place over as well.
A lot of secrets in here, eh? A lot of secrets.
Yeah, I can't reveal it. I can't. It took us months, sleepless nights, and lots of weight
keep it a
gaining
secret.
to get to this. And obviously, on all our bases, you can choose if you want the plain garlic base or if you'd like. They call it muti. Pizza sauce is muti, which obviously goes to the bottom, which we use on all our pizzas, if unless you want something different. Just moving forward, we're going to be adding the gluten-free base option as well, because we see that's becoming a bit popular.
Yeah.
You can request a very thin base, thick base. That's your choice. So that's the pizza. Look, the proof is in the tasting. All our pizzas are topped with garlic as well. If you don't want garlic, you can request no garlic. Then on this side, we've got our kebab, pita, and chips. So all our kebabs, all our quarter chickens come with a pita, a garlic pita, made of the same dough as our pizzas are. Our chips, we don't use frozen fries. Everything is hand cut. So I think if you catch my drift, everything we're trying to do is not, what's what I'm looking for, is not your frozen food, or,
keeping it fresh, basically.
Fresh. If my potatoes go off, they go off. We will keep doing hand-cut fries. So on this side, we have 2 kebabs. I wish I could bring more, but there wasn't enough space in the table.
No.
So on this side, we have our barbecue. Look, it's not your typical barbecue sauce that we just buy in the shop. It is a special barbecue. It's very rich in flavor. On this side, we have the peri-peri sauce I've been ranting about because that's something I have a lot of faith in. All the feedback we've been getting and personal preference, like it's truly an amazing peri-peri sauce. You see we've topped it with a bit of parsley as well. And it's a great combo because by the time you get home, some of that sauce will have dripped into your pita and, it adds extra flavor and softness to it. People normally say pita, they think pita being hard and stuff. I was in the show, like our pitas are actually quite very light and foamy. We strive for that. And our chips obviously topped up with a nice chip spice to give it flavor. You can choose your spice. We obviously can do salt. If you want some sauce on it as well, you can choose some sauce. We have a nice sauce called the Urbanaise, also a secret. I'm saying secret because I'm hoping people will actually come in.
Yeah, no, definitely, ladies and gentlemen, I do recommend at least trying Owen flavor. I believe you'll enjoy it. Purely based off the smell, also Randy's description. But what took me back was actually the fact that you mentioned everything is handmade. Now, of course, handmade is always loved, but one thing that caught my attention was the fact that you would actually be willing to sacrifice, in essence, the stock you have just to ensure that your quality is absolutely amazing. And that, for me, it says wonders, because a lot of places, as we know that some places, of course, have their chips frozen, but you've actually made an attempt to actually handcraft everything. And even the naan being so light is only an aspect that comes in when it's actually made on the day. Exactly, because as we all know, naan that's refrigerated or kept frozen after being made, I think in some respects it's a war crime to serve that. But I'm not going to get into that.
On that, so yes. What we do at the end of the night, we always have leftover. We cook it up and we hand it out to the at the end of the night, we always have a lot of dough leftover stuff. So we usually just cook it up in the oven and we hand it out to the guys in the street, and
nice. Because it's good that you answer that, because usually I ask restaurants how they maintain their quality, especially because of the fact that a lot of what the restaurants utilize, the ingredients are time sensitive, and that often indicates that it has to, you either have to stock up to less, or you have to stock up more, and then you have an issue where it gets run out. But it's good that you've actually taken the initiative to both service the community in respect of handmade goods, but also to give out in the reality that you actually have too much. Now, Randy, just to remind the people that this is not actually everything you have available. You're not just a pizza joint. As you have the kebabs, you actually have way more on special. So just tell all of the listeners out there exactly what they can get at Urban Flava on the menu.
Yeah, so we have obviously a wide variety of your vegetarian pizzas. Your world famous margaritas, your garlic pitas, garlic chitas. Got a nice vegetarian option with your feta and your olives and avocado. We also have your chicken. With the chicken, there's a barbecue option. There's your spicy, your Californian. Look, it's a bit too much for me to remember and mention all of it. I can, but I don't want to bore the listeners.
Yes.
And obviously, your beef option, your masala steaks, your barbecue as well. And then we've also got some salami, which you use as well for your Reginas, your wine. You know, your popular pizzas, which you can't leave off. And actually, about 2 months ago, we started the seafood. So we've got the prawn. We call him the King Prawn. And then we've got the Urban Ocean Mix, which is your seafood mix pizza. Also, we took, the reason it took so long to launch, we just weren't happy with the taste. Until we worked it.
Of course, you serve only what you yourself enjoy. Exactly.
And then just quickly, so just to touch back on the freshness. So instead of stocking up, I have reliable supplies every day. We rather order every day from you.
Okay, fantastic. I'm going to keep the phone on the food because I think looking at us is not going to be all that grand. Take a look at the food and then you'll make up your mind on the business itself. With that, we're going to have to go for some commercial news. When we return, it's more of the daily grind, so stay tuned.
Come and join us at Mug and Bean Kenilworth Centre. If you haven't had the opportunity to enjoy our summer menu yet, you are in for a treat. Try the jerk chicken or our scrumptious new braai platter or mini burger platter. And to wash it all down, we have cooling new strawberry hibiscus and ginger slush. Open from breakfast to dinner. Festive trading from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mug and Bean Kenilworth Centre is fully halal. We look forward to welcoming you in.
The Butcher's Market. Everything you expect from a butcher's market and more, including A-class lamb and beef, chicken, sensational sausages, ground beef, tasty burgers, and quality cold meats. We take pride in the way we prepare, package, and present our products to you at the perfect price. Visit our conveniently located stores in Watergate Mall, Mitchells Plain, Belleville, Takai, Easter River, Muizenberg, and Somerset West. Or visit www.butchersmarket.co.za. The Butcher's Market. Meet your expectations.
Nisa David's Attorney specializes in drafting of wills, including Sharia-compliant wills, the administration of deceased estates, transfers of fixed properties, registration of bonds, all for major banks, creation of trusts, specialized commercial law, and sequestration applications. Nisa David's Attorneys is an ex-employee of the Master of the High Court, has vast experience in finalization of deceased estates and dealing with the most complex estates. Easy accessible premises situated on the corner of Garfield and Alamein Roads, Claremont, off Imam Haroon Road near Kenilworth Centre. Contact us on 021-683-7437. Nisa David's Attorneys.
Another customer lost. I really need a card machine. Why don't you get a Voda Pay quicker? It's portable with built-in SIM, so you don't need to link it to a phone, plus free unlimited transactions. I'm listening. It's 499 Rand once off. You even qualify for easy funding to grow your business even more. Yeah, but what if I'm not on Vodacom? Anybody, any network works every time.
Sinawe. Get a Voda Pay quicker from your nearest Vodacom store. Brought to you by Vodacom Financial Services.
Looking for a modern Sharia-compliant fleet management solution? With Standard Bank's Sharia Fleet Management, you get access to cutting-edge service and fleet technology whilst at peace that Sharia compliance is upheld without compromise. Visit standardbank.co.za for more information. Innovation rooted in tradition. Standard Bank Sharia Banking. It can be. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP. T's and C's apply.
The Voice of the Cape, 91.3 FM stereo.
The Daily Grind. Boosting your business savvy.
Welcome back to the Daily Grind. We are entering into the final segment. Yes, indeed. I saw a lot of questions in regards to address, in regards to contact details. I remember one on the 33366 asking already in the beginning for pizza joint. So it looks like some people just want to know at the mention. Now, Randy, we're getting to that point. I want to know from you in regards to your business, how can people get in contact with you, and any caveats you want to mention in regards to service?
Yeah, so our telephone line for phone orders is 021 879 6047. You're also on the main delivery platforms, Ball Foods, Mr. D. We have an Instagram page. Our website is under construction. I think within 2 weeks that should be done. We'll be able to order online. And with that will come the WhatsApp business function as well.
Okay. So we're getting there. We're getting everywhere.
You know our address? Obviously, you mentioned the main road. It's 102 Artery Road. And that's
so basically, ladies and gentlemen, you just have to go to the strip. That's what I'm going to call it, the Wynberg strip, the main road. If you go there, you'll see them, you'll smell them, you'll know where they are. Now, Andy, I usually ask this question before, but I am going to ask it now. For the listeners out there, okay, you're an entrepreneur yourself. You took that leap of faith and you jumped in to your business. And I wanted to know from you, to anybody out there that maybe is listening, that maybe has ideas of opening their own business, whether that be a food place or whatever, what would your words of encouragement be to them, those people that are still have that nagging doubt, I can do this, but they always, it's just that one step that's away.
Look, there's a lot of, if I can call it cliches, out the stuff we know: work hard, never give up, things we read on social media. But from personal experience, if I look at what helped me, some of the bosses I worked for before, I mentioned a bit earlier. So planning is a big thing. You need to plan, grind the numbers. My dad, he always taught me to be realistic. You need to be realistic. And discipline. Discipline is a very big thing, man. So even I have to discipline myself sometimes. I'm not overeating at the shop. You know what I'm saying? So, and if you like, especially with money, you need to be disciplined with money. So not always having to, when you do make some extra cash, rather look at the long-term goal, because that will determine your daily actions. You see, so you'll know that I can't spend this because I won't be able to do A, B, and C if I'm going to spend it now. And then also people. I believe in connecting, skills. Even with the pizza shop, there was a time we were just waiting for some cash to come in from a property we sold, and then I had friends who were woodworkers, and they came up and did counters for us, and in return, we give them a pizza or accounting, and so that can be a very big. It doesn't always have to be money. A good friend of mine, Ishmael Karim, he always talks about barter trading, which is true. In back in the days, that's how life worked. So in summary, discipline, be realistic, and build a network of solid people around you.
Okay. More pragmatic advice. Usually people just say, take the leap of faith, but you came in with more pragmatic advice about be aware, but also build that network, work with people in the community. As you mentioned, you work, it's not really a competition there in Wynberg. It's more so
all a big family.
Yeah, exactly. If somebody's looking for a burger, they're not going to come to your joint. They're going to go to a burger joint, but that doesn't mean that they also won't have a pizza. So it's not really undercutting anybody. It's always working with the community and working within the community. Now, Randy, we've run out of time. The show has to conclude now.
Okay.
But from my side, I want to say thank you so much for coming on board. I really hope that your business grows from strength to strength and you get that dream of one day opening your business as a franchise and maybe even going all over the Western Cape and who knows, maybe all over South Africa as well. I can tell that in your mind, ambition is running wild. I can tell that not only in respect to your business, but also to your product. If anybody doesn't know, Randy is very much over how his product looks and also how it tastes. I can guarantee you that what he's serving is something he would consume. And as he's told you, he consumes himself. But Randy, thank you so much for coming on board. We really, really appreciate it.
Well, thank you to you, man. This has been a great experience and the opportunity to put our name out there.
No problem. This is, of course, the place to be where we promote local businesses. And with that, I want to also remind everyone that if you want to come onto the Daily Grind, you want to promote your business that you just started, you maybe need a little bit of a push. All you need to do is, of course, get in contact with us through 0829 913 913 or info@vocfm.co.za, and then I will get in touch with you. It's simple as that. But we're going to have to conclude the show now. We are going to have to end it there. Next week will be another episode of The Daily Grind, so stay tuned for that. But for myself and the rest of the Voice of the Cape, I bid you adieu with Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That's it for The Daily Grind this week. Tune in next week for more.
The Voice of the Cape, 91.3 FM stereo.